in our previous video, we talked about how to develop our own step to 3 foot so that we could make a 12-foot horse stride. So 4 of our steps equals a 12-foot horse stride. And now we're going to implement that in walking distances on a course. So a related distance has a set number of strides in between the 2 fences. And we're going to base that on the horse's 12-foot stride. So we need to leave some room for takeoff and landing. So doing the math, a 72-foot distance between the 2 jumps is going to equal a 5 stride for the horse because we need to leave room for takeoff and landing. I'll show you how I do it, my technique. I give myself 2 steps for the horse to land. So the horse should be landing here. Then I count my strides to come up with the horse strides. 1, 2, 3, 1 stride. 1, 2, 3, 2 stride. 1, 2, 3, 3 stride. 1, 2, 3, 4 stride. 1, 2, 3, 5 stride. Room for the horse's takeoff. So if I have 5 12-foot horse strides, the horse should, that'll be 60 feet, and I leave him room for the landing off the first fence and the takeoff for the second fence. Now, recognizing that I was walking uphill to get there, I have to make sure that my stride's long enough. I might have overdone it a little bit, so I have to stretch a little further. And when I come back down, if I were to jump the square oxer coming down the hill towards the vertical, I have to make sure that my stride doesn't get carried away with the hill influencing it. But it would still work out in the same 72 feet, 5 strides for the horse with room for takeoff and landing. So that's a related distance in a straight line. If I want to do a related distance on a bending line, we'll come over to this blue oxer. And this has been set up to be a 5 stride on a bending line. And I'll walk the same 1, 2, the horse will land here. And I'm trying to walk perpendicular away from the first fence until I find the line that is coming at me perpendicular away from the second fence. 1, 2, 3, 1 stride. 1, 2, 3, 2 stride. 1, 2, 3, 3 strides. I've made my turn there. 1, 2, 3, 4 strides. 1, 2, 3, 5 strides, and room for the takeoff. So we've done a 5 stride going up the hill where I have to stretch out a little bit to make sure my horse's 12-foot stride is still accurate. And my coming down the hill, I have to make sure that I don't lengthen my own stride out or my horse's stride when it comes to that part of our ride. I have a lot of experience doing this. I do it every day. Caitlin's learning. So I think this would be a great opportunity to see how you can kind of find your stride. It's just, again, repetition, like we said in the previous video, repetition, just doing it over and over until you find the stride length that's comfortable for you so that you know what to expect when you come out and ride the course. So Caitlin will take 2 steps for the landing off this black and blue vertical, and then 4 steps for her first stride. 4 steps for the next stride. 2 strides, keep going. 3 strides, keep going. 4 strides, keep going. 5 strides. Do you think that's a good takeoff spot? You're a little long, a little far away? So maybe the hill influenced her step because she was walking uphill to that oxer. So what might have been the perfect stride for her if we're on the flat ground when she was practicing using the rail on the ground to develop her step, maybe she needs to stretch a little bit more because we're coming up the hill. Should we try it again? Land. 1 stride. 2 strides for the horse. 3 strides for the horse. 4 strides for the horse. 5 strides for the horse. It's a little better. And I said this in the previous video also, that we tend to take sometimes our first step bigger, or our 4th step, if you're counting the stride, a little smaller. And I think that's where Caitlin made that mistake. So it just, again, comes down to repetition. Now she's going to walk the bending line. So go to the blue and white oxer. And you're going to aim for me, because I'm the point of intersection between the center straight line of where you're standing and the center of the second jump. So walk straight towards me, land there, keep coming. 1 stride, 2 strides, 3 strides, 4 strides, 5 strides. How's your takeoff spot? Long. So it's just practice makes perfect, and you just keep doing it and doing it. Maybe set something up with a tape measure so you know that it's exactly a 72-foot distance if you want to practice a 5 stride line, and just keep walking and walking until you develop the feel of your own stride. And one of the things we need to remember when we're walking distance and practicing this is to make sure you keep your eyes up and not necessarily looking down. I think that makes a difference. How you carry yourself, eyes up, you carry yourself, you're going to make your step carry better. And also, it may be easier. We started today with a 5 stride line. It may be easier to practice your step and learn with a 2 or 3 stride line. Again, in divisibles of 12. So a 2 stride line is 36 feet because we leave room for takeoff and landing. And a 3 stride line is 48 feet, leaving room for takeoff and landing. So measure that out with a tape measure. Set your poles, or even if you just set 2 buckets that far apart, it can be anything. And just keep practicing walking that step. It's very important that you're able to carry that length of your own step for the duration of your striding. So when practicing your long distances, a 5 stride line that's 72 feet long would require you to take 24 steps. It's hard to make sure that all 24 steps are the exact same length. And it takes going over and over, developing the feel, practicing that. Start with the shorter distances, maybe the 48-foot 3 stride line, and then develop up into the longer lines. And good luck.